What's up, you guys? It's Kiero Loves You, and we have made it to Austin, Texas. And we are at the Lodge in the stream room right now, and I am sitting with...
Slick Rick.
Slick Rick is the commentator here at the Lodge streams. Run the clip.
Kiero does a lot of content work. He works some with Live at the Bike, also does some video editing for Eric Person.
Just like myself, you guys know I commentate at Live at the Bike, so I figured we could have a commentator-to-commentator conversation. And I wanted to learn some things about the Lodge, you know. I know Doug and Brad Owen helped start this thing, but you've been here since the very beginning. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about it?
Yeah, Doug and Brad and Andrew and a bunch of other great folks, joined the Lodge ownership team January of last year, so a little over a year ago. But the live stream has actually been going on for a year and a half before they even got here. On a much smaller scale. We were growing steadily, and I like to say we had a bonfire going, but when Brad, Andrew, and Doug came along, they poured the gasoline on, and we kind of exploded. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
And you guys weren't necessarily a live stream in the beginning, right?
Right. It was the first month or two, we would do a produced show, edit the show, and then the commentators would come in and do basically an hour-long show commentating voiceover, and then we'd release it. We finally went to a live stream format, and it kind of took off. The Lodge was known for having smaller stakes games at first. Yeah. And a lot of people enjoyed that, but as we saw, more people tune in. The higher the stakes, the more people that tune in.
There's Wayne from The Bike says the money is the star of the show.
Exactly. But we've grown. Our fan base is extremely loyal. We call them Chatsville. We've got some that have been with us since the very beginning. I think we hit our first 1,000 subscribers in March of 2020, and then from there, we just hit 100,000 subscribers last month, and already 110. Yeah, that was a big milestone for us.
Yeah, and yeah, I can relate. Starting off, I started commentating poker at a home game actually that had the RFID technology, and I was commentating 2-3 games.
Right.
And that was back in like August-ish time. Yeah, like around August of last year. And I started playing live poker in May of last year.
That's just crazy.
So we're coming up on my anniversary real soon. And I moved on to, I think, which was a crazy transition from the 2-3 games to 500 and 1,000 with Eric Person being my first game. I commentated at Live at the Bike.
It's crazy.
Which was wild.
I mean, honestly, I call myself a poker enthusiast. I'm not a pro. Yeah. I just love the game, but I've been playing 35 years. So for somebody to come in just a year ago and not only commentate, which is one thing, but to play in some of these high-stakes games, that's
we're
pretty
stepping
impressive.
into the arena today. I am a host of games now at the casinos in LA, playing 2-3, 2-5, 5-5.
Nice.
My first time I actually played poker in May, I went to a home game in LA that my friend's dad was at, and I bought in for $400 into a 5-10 the first time I played.
Right.
Did not know what I was getting into.
Right.
I just wanted to play poker, and I didn't even know there was smaller stakes.
Right.
And I turned that 400 into like 2,800.
Right.
In like a couple hours, and the bug was set. Like I was like, oh, watching poker for over a decade. I was like, oh, the game, and you know how to read people as a DJ.
Right.
And today I guess I've played 5-10, but now that it's a 5-10-10 today, I would say this is like my biggest game. I don't think I've ever bought in for 10K before. So
yeah, it's a 5-10 game, but there's usually a straddle, and then also it's match to stack. So
yeah, that's the crazy part about this game is match to
crazy.
Stack. So yeah, I know it was a 2K buy-in, and then from watching the streams, I know it goes up pretty big. So
I mean, it can. We've had games where the very first hand it was an all-in, and everybody tops off to 4,000 after that first hand.
I've seen it.
So it doesn't always go like that. We've got a great lineup, though, today. You're part of a great lineup.
I have not heard the lineup, so why don't you surprise me on camera?
Yeah, we will. We've got Jaywin, we've got Big Daddy Chaz coming.
Legends of the Lodge.
I believe E-Fan will be joining us today.
Another legend of the Lodge.
I mean, so I'm
getting this all-star lineup.
We're going to welcome you to the Lodge, and you're a big star too. We appreciate you coming in from LA, and hopefully, we'll get some of our players to go out there and some of the
I hope they come
players.
through. I'll take care of everybody when they come to LA. But Jay-Win, Ethan, Big Daddy Chaz, I mean, just on the Lodge YouTube highlights and Twitter alone, I've seen the craziest of hands between them and certain players. Ethan, I've seen swing down, up in a matter of minutes. It's cool, to sit here with them.
It's funny that so many, we give our players nicknames, and Ethan's original nickname was McLovin.
Oh, wow.
From the Superbad movie.
Superbad.
And he didn't like it. He was losing a little bit. He said, I want to change my name. But it's funny, so many of our players have nicknames. And when they go to LA or Vegas, people will come up to him and say, oh, you're Jay-Win, you're Ethan.
Those clips go viral, dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah, especially with Doug's commentary on his personal channel too. Like the breakdowns, it's always hilarious. And yeah, man, I'm excited to play with them. I know Skull Mike, reached out to me. Eric hit up Doug and Skull Mike for me to set this up. And shout out to Eric Person. I'm representing the Maverick Gaming today. I actually interviewed Eric for my YouTube back in November, the day of the Mr. Dr. Batman hand.
Oh, yeah.
And he predicted beating him in the game in our interview. Then it happened. I edited a video, gave it to him. He ended up posting it, and then at the end of our interview, before the game even happened, I was like, hey, did you know I'm going to be the first person you signed to Maverick Gaming? He goes, we don't sign anybody. I was like, that's why I'm first. And he called me the next day and signed me. And
that was really an interview.
Yeah.
That was an interview of him and an interview of
I
you.
knew what was up. Eric is my poker spirit animal.
That's awesome.
Before the Helmuth heads up match even, he was the anti-hero of poker to me. He doesn't take shit from nobody.
Right.
And he's also with the business. If you deal it out, he'll dish it back harder. And that's something that I've always done. It's Kiero Loves You, but if you come at me sideways, you find out that Kiero Tough Loves You is way more intense. So.
Hey, I love it. I think everything's good for the game. You got the characters of the game are what makes it. And
poker has the best characters. It's better than wrestling.
It is.
It's wrestling with higher stakes.
I love it.
I never wanted to get hit with a steel chair, so
right.
But I also don't want to get hit for $10K today. Why don't you? I mean, you've been playing poker 35 years.
Yes.
Said? I look forward to a lengthy poker career, not just doing the entertainment end of it, but playing. Playing is a big passion of mine. I come from playing video games competitively too.
Right.
And poker is just one of those sports and games where it's like, not only can you compete at a very intellectual, social level, but the rewards are higher than any other sports in the world. What has been some of the biggest stakes you've played?
See, I recently played in a stream where the table, we had an empty seat, and the table got together. This happened just this week.
Oh, okay.
And the table got together and gave me an $8,000 bankroll. They each put in $1,000, figuring they were all going to get it back.
Wow. Yeah.
And so that was the highest game I ever. Honestly, I play, I bring a couple bullets for the 1-3 games here if a couple buy-ins go. I pack up, I smile, and I say, "I'll see you tomorrow."
Yeah, there's more than one day.
I'm not a pro, and my play shows it. But I enjoy the game. I enjoy the social aspect of the game.
Very much so.
And there are guys who will sit with the headphones on, and I just, to me, that misses a whole. You might as well play online.
I host a game, and literally, there's rules at the table. Rule number one is if you sit with headphones, you can't play.
Yeah.
When I go to a casino and table selection is a big part of the game. If I see 2-3 people on with the table with headphones, I'll wait for a new table, or I'll go somewhere else. Because number one, how are you going to laugh at my jokes if you have headphones on?
But social is a social game. You're sitting around with a group of people. I was in a tournament last night. Thank God I made the final table.
Congrats.
But we were all sitting there, and everybody was quiet. And I finally broke the ice and said, "Man, is anybody having fun here?" And then all of a sudden, people started talking. And poker is a social game. People take it serious, and I get that. If you're a pro and this is how you're paying your rent, I get that. This is
real
serious.
money.
But for me, it's a little different. I'm not paying my rent playing poker. Thank God for my play. But I just enjoy the game.
Yeah, I had to find my multiple pillars of poker through content creation, commentating, hosting,
merchandising,
and editing videos and stuff. I had to
Absolutely.
because if I just relied on playing, I wasn't going to be able to be stress free. I look at sitting down at a table like going bowling or going for golfing or something, like this is supposed to be fun.
Well, and I think, I'm old enough to know back when I started playing poker in the 80s, the big names, the Phil Hellmuths, the Doyle Brunsons, the Amarillo Slims, they were the big names that brought people to the game. Now it's the live streams that bring people to the game. It's the vloggers that bring people to the game. The stars are still out there, but the growth of the game is going to become through content generators like yourself and like the vloggers, because Brad Owen has 600,000 plus subscribers.
Him and Masato are killing it.
Masato, Rampage, absolutely killing it. Andrew Nemi, who was probably one of the godfathers of vlogging. It's those guys that have brought so many more people into poker. And I can't tell you how many people come to the lodge and say, I'm here in the lodge because of the live stream.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. The majority of the people that watch our live stream don't even live in the United States.
No.
70%
Those
are
YouTube analytics
overseas.
are crazy, right?
And so we get people that come in from Europe, come in from other parts of the United States and say, man, I'm here because I watched the live stream and I see how great this place is.
Yeah, so now you got guys like Rosie and Frankie from Next Gen on TikTok. You you got 21, 22-year-olds putting out this poker content, and we just had Frankie out at the bike recently as well, and they're ushering literally in a new generation of poker players who are getting introduced to this beautiful game that we all love.
They came out when they first got started. They had fewer subscribers. I think they had 5,000 subscribers when they first came out to play on one of our streams, and it's great to see how they've blown up.
Yeah,
and they've got an interesting niche because they've got the young people that are going to help grow the game, because the game can't continue unless more people come into it. So.
Yeah.
So it's great to see all the. I'm a big supporter of all vloggers and all content creators of poker. I watch so much of it.
Same.
I consume. It's like people say, so and so's the best live stream. Watch them all.
I watch them all. I play poker, not politics, is one of my sayings. I tell everybody, whether it's a stream out here and then the stream's competing in Texas or the stream's competing in LA. Obviously, I'm at the bike, live at the bike.
Sure.
We got many great things to come, but that doesn't stop me from playing at another casino or, hating on the next stream. Now, some other streams might have some opinions about us, but that's their life.
But that's their life. And here's the deal. A rising tide lifts all boats. The more people watching poker are going to expose them to all the streams. So, yes, people have their favorites. We have folks that say, you're my favorite. The Hustler has their, Live at the Bike, the original live stream, has their base of fans. Everybody's going to have their favorite, but I say watch them all. I do.
I watch all the streams. I watch Best Bet live out in Florida, in Jacksonville.
Right.
I watch streams out in Texas. And I think it's going to be exciting, live at the bike, expanding with Bally's. We're going to be doing live at the Tropicana.
I heard that.
So I'm going to be out there producing and commentating that one.
That's awesome.
That's going to be really dope, especially because Vegas doesn't have a live stream per se. Poker Go did start doing some live streams, like with Eric's big $1 million buy-in game.
Right.
And I think, Vegas is a sleeping giant for poker streams. And I think the Tropicana, the things that are going to develop there, because they used to have a poker room, for what I know, before COVID, and then they don't have a poker room now, and now it looks like they're going to have a poker room again. With the things that Aria has done, and Resorts World is starting to do, and it's exciting. But Texas has its own these clubhouses.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's something we don't have in LA.
Yeah.
There's a lot of home games. Trust me, there's enough home games to cover the size of Texas.
Right.
But it's a very interesting dynamic that it's new to me.
It is, and it's just poker. So when you come to the Lodge or another club in Texas, you're coming just for poker. There's no slots. There's no table games.
There's no Ultimate Texas Hold'em or Baccarat to run to.
It's just poker, and we're the largest poker house in Texas. We have access to now close to 90 tables, so we can run those huge tournaments that get the big prize pools because we have so many tables. And
Yeah.
and the
Nobody
dealers,
likes being on that wait list.
no. So so we've got I'm so fortunate. We went from 18 tables, and then we bought the new place, moved in here, and kept the old place. So we've got access for overflow. It's really a great place to be.
Are you guys going to start streaming these final table for these tournaments? I know you guys have a big one coming up next month.
Yeah, we've got the Lodge Championship Series, April 26th through the 16th, right before the World Series. We've got a $3,000 main event with a $2 million guarantee. But yeah, we just streamed 2 weeks ago the main event for our Spring Mayhem Series. And we had, I think, $370,000 prize pool in that one. So yes, the tough part of streaming final tables is it's got to be the next day. So they've got to play down to a final table, and then the next day we'll stream it, because we did it the other way, and we were waiting for the final table.
It's tough to have production just sitting around.
And so production was sitting around for hours and hours, and then what happened is they finally made it to the final table. 20 minutes in, they chopped. So we waited all day to film it.
That's sick.
So now what we do is on a big tournament that we're going to stream, we'll play down to the final table, and then everybody will come back the next day, and that way we know the final table's going to be for TV purposes.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, it's interesting. I think as the viewers do not want to watch chop.
No, they don't.
Tournament players are a different breed.
But at the end of the day, it's the tournament. It's the players' money.
Yeah.
And if they want to chop, they want to chop. Now we do ask them to play out if they do chop, to leave something in the trophy to play for something, because like you said, people are tuning in. This is a show. They've got to play for something. But
yeah, you can't chop a trophy in half.
Exactly. So, but this last one, there was no chop, and we had a winner, and it went. It was very fun times.
Yeah, tournaments are great. I love tournaments. I feel like every poker player wants to buy in for something small and win the maximum. That's the biggest part of this competitive sport that we do play.
Yeah.
Okay, biggest cash game score, biggest cash game loss for yourself.
For me, it's not going to be that exciting. Biggest cash game.
Most people can relate.
Yeah, biggest cash game score for me, maybe 3,500. Biggest loss, probably about 1,800 to 2,000. So that I'm like I said, I'm not gonna get touched up too much. Now I'll stay as long as I'm winning, but I have a stop every day.
Yeah.
And that day, I don't know why I went a little bit longer. Usually I'll go to about 1,000. I'll bring two $500 buy-ins for my 1-3 game.
That's my normal Monday. That's my normal Monday.
And just I'll fire them. And if when I lose them, I'll go home. And I have no problem, because I know that there's always tomorrow. But so I try not to get too tough. So that it's not too exciting there. I'm sorry to say.
Nah, man. Today's gonna be exciting for me. I'm not gonna front. Like, this is my biggest buy-in.
That's awesome.
And it was funny. Like, I've watched Eric buy in for $1 million a few times, and it's real money, and it has real consequences or benefits. But
right.
I told my girlfriend before I left the hotel too, or before we went to bed, like, I'm either gonna cry on camera for my biggest score, because I'm emotional person.
That's good.
I have no reserves in what may happen on camera, but I pretty much said, like, yeah, if I hit my biggest loss, I'll probably cry in the Uber, not on camera, but it's exciting to see what may happen for myself today, and I know you're going to get to convey this to the viewers,
we'll wish you all the luck, and I appreciate it. I know production's gonna needs to get going here to prep for there, but we wish you all the luck.
Yeah,
and
man.
Thank you so much for coming and what you do for poker. And I'm just amazed that it's just a year in, and you've weaved your way in, not only to being on the felt, but to being in the commentating booth, which is pretty shocking.
Same thing like everything in life. If I didn't believe, why would I move forward?
There you go.
And I have the hourglass tattoo on my hand. Time does not stop. You're not promised, so you got to go after that. And for everybody out there, if you want to get into poker commentary, or you want to get into poker vlogging, or you want to just get into poker period, or anything in life, give it your full focus, give it your heart, chase your passions. There's nothing wrong with having a job. There's nothing wrong with, doing what you need to do to survive in life. But if you want to thrive in life in something you love, go for it. You don't get time back, and the only thing bad in life is regret it.
Exactly.
So,
Well
I thank you
said.
so much for your
Hey.
time. Kiero loves you if nobody loves you.
Good luck today.
Thank you
Tear
so
them
much.
up.
Let's go. Bye, guys. Oh, wait, real quick. Where can they find you?
Instagram is really what I'm on, at Slick Rick Lodge. Slick Rick Lodge. I do some fun stuff. A lot of people always ask me, "Hey, I'm coming to the lodge. Where's a good place to eat?" So I do some food reviews. I do some funny stuff. But at Slick Rick Lodge, and I want to say this: Skull Mike, who's not here today, is feeling a little under the weather. He might show up a little bit later. He's been my partner since show number 1, and can't say enough about what he does. He curates all of these games.
Yeah, he's the one who got in touch with me.
Which is the toughest part of this whole thing, is making sure you have everybody show up, because everybody has their own schedules. So Skull Mike has been, we've been a good partnership since day number 1. And once again, thank you for being here.
Yeah, shout out to Skull Mike. Thank you so much for helping set this up. And Slick Rick, a legend. I hope we get to commentate together one time.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Peace.